Picture this. I vividly remember standing in the middle of a packed, chaotic shopping mall. It's loud, right? People are rushing by in an absolute blur, laughing, talking loudly, glued to their phones. But as I looked around, it suddenly hit me. I was the only one noticing every single tiny detail. So why does life feel so low res for everyone else, but so intense for us? Like, I literally noticed the rapid flickering of a fluorescent light way off in the far corner. I saw the extremely subtle way a stranger across the atrium clenched their jaw. I could actually physically feel the shift in the room's energy the exact moment a loud group walked in. Man, it used to feel incredibly isolating, but I want to validate your experience right here, right now. While others are just living in a blur, your brain, just like mine, is actively picking up on subtle cues that are entirely invisible to everyone else. It's honestly like living in two totally different realities. On one side, you've got the 480p world, full of surface-level small talk, heavy social masks, and people just performing a continuous highlight reel. Then, on the other side, there's your 8K brain. You're craving deep connection. You're seeing straight through those masks and noticing all the hidden subtext. You feel alienated simply because you're experiencing every single moment in stunning IMAX level 8K, while the rest of the world is operating in this blurry, low-resolution 480p. It's exactly why making small talk can literally feel like chewing on cardboard. Okay, let's move into section 1, the missing spam filter. Because it turns out there's actually a very real neurological reason for this massive divide. Take a look at this number, 90%. To put things into perspective, the human brain processes roughly 11 million bits of information every single second. That's a lot. So to survive that onslaught, most people have this built-in neurological spam filter. When they walk into a busy room, their brain just automatically deletes about 90% of the sensory input straight into a mental trash bin. It does this to prevent them from getting completely overwhelmed by all the noise, movement, and social data. But here's the kicker. For roughly 20% of the population, this filter just doesn't exist. That massive buffer that protects everyone else from the chaos, you don't have it. Every single data point is coming in totally unfiltered. This brings us to a phenomenon known as sensory processing sensitivity. Think of it as a biological trait where your brain acts as a human lie detector. Your mind is constantly screenshotting, recording, and cross-referencing all these complex patterns that others completely miss. And hey, I really need you to hear this. You aren't too much, and you certainly aren't broken. Your neural network is functioning exactly as it was designed to. In fact, for many of us, this incredible 8K radar is actually a survival masterpiece. It was often trained by childhood instincts, where you literally had to learn to instantly read the emotional temperature of a room just to ensure your own safety. Which brings us to section 2, the overstimulation trap. We need to look at how this deeply ingrained sensitivity actually collides with our modern environment. See, we're constantly surrounded by what scientists call supernormal stimuli. Basically, these are exaggerated artificial stimuli that are perfectly designed to hijack the hunter-gatherer brain's natural reward pathways. So your highly perceptive, deep processing brain, it's currently being assaulted. Every day, it faces this relentless, constant dopamine parade of modern noise, digital pings, incredibly bright screens, and endless, mindless scrolling. When your 8K brain meets this modern barrage, a pretty destructive chain reaction kicks off. First, these supernormal stimuli hijack your natural reward pathways. Second, because of the constant bombardment, something called receptor atrophy happens. Your dopamine receptors basically just burn out from the overload. And third, your focus gets severely degraded. This sequence perfectly explains why you might feel that bone-deep exhaustion that even a good night's sleep doesn't fix, or why you might suddenly find yourself entirely unable to focus on reading a physical book for more than 10 minutes. Honestly, you aren't losing your mind, you're just stuck in a massive system overload. Let's get to the good news in section 3, the cure, cognitive resensitization. To escape this overstimulation trap, we absolutely must intentionally slow down and learn exactly how to reset our baseline. I want you to just take a breath for a second and absorb this word, acetylcholine. It's a neurotransmitter that actively rewards deep focus, introspection, and just being alone. You see, your highly sensitive brain isn't actually meant to run on a constant IV drip of dopamine. Not at all. It thrives on acetylcholine, which is triggered by low stimulation. That feeling of profound peace you crave when you finally get a quiet moment to yourself, that is literally your brain begging for its preferred fuel. So how do we actually get there? Well, here's your blueprint to get your focus back. It's a structured 3-week cognitive reset designed to literally heal your neural pathways. Week 1 is all about initiating dopamine resensitization by radically cutting out those supernormal stimuli. By week 2, your brain is actively reversing that receptor atrophy we talked about. And then by week 3, the magic really happens. The brain fog lifts, your baseline is totally reset, and normal everyday activities begin to feel incredibly engaging and exciting once again. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, low stimulus morning habits. Because to successfully maintain this 3-week reset and keep your 8K mind from just immediately burning out all over again, you need to anchor your days properly, right from the exact moment you wake up. Here are your low stimulus anchors. The key psychological tool at play here is embracing what's called the contrast effect. Think about it. If you start your day with high-octane digital noise, like immediately checking your phone, everything else the rest of the day is going to feel dull by contrast. But if you start your morning with low stimulus habits, say taking a quiet walk outside without your phone, or sitting down to read a physical book with your morning coffee, you actively restore your focus and cognitive clarity. You're making a conscious, deliberate choice to avoid digital supernormal stimuli. Essentially, you're actively opting out of the noise to protect your peace. Which brings us to our final takeaway. Silence isn't empty, it's where clarity lives. Embracing the rich, quiet texture of silence isn't doing nothing. It's exactly where your 8K brain accesses its full, incredible power. It's where you process, connect, and truly thrive. So I want to leave you with this question. Are you going to keep burning out trying to force your high-definition mind into a low-resolution world? Or are you finally ready to curate the silence required to unlock your true cognitive potential?